Alright, my son and I have decided, this is actually Sunday, right? So it's Easter.
Yeah, Easter Sunday. And April Fool's.
Yeah, it's April 1st, Sunday.
Yeah, bro.
Easter Sunday that also happens to fall on April Fool's. But this is definitely no April Fool's joke right here. We are at Erna. Oh, look at that butterfly just flew right by me. And look at this little lizard just sitting out here. Look at that cute. Oh, there he goes.
It's April Fool's. We're actually in a VR simulator right now, simulating this walk because we have that much money.
Yeah, we're here at Erna Nixon. I don't know if you can hear a little bird there in the distance. Oh, here, look. Education. Some of you like being educated, right? This shows you what the tree rings look like and how they can tell how old a tree is. So when the tree is a sapling, this is the center part of when it's a little tiny, like almost like a bush growing. And then, you know, then as it starts to grow, it starts to make all these little rings that grow out. And they can count like the years, whether it's a wet year, whether it's a dry year, and how old that tree is.
My precious. Is it the rings, the Lord of the Rings? The precious? Gollum?
Oh. Now they actually have some trail that cuts through here, but only meant for the park rangers, not for the regular people. What I like about Erna Nixon is this. They have a really nice boardwalk. It's a pseudo-plastic, rubberized plastic, and they've got a nice rail that has simulated wood using that rubberized plastic. Now they do have real wood here, apparently mixed in, so the poles and the middle pole down there are real wood. And a lot of what you find here mostly is like lizards and stuff. You don't really see a lot of big wildlife, at least I haven't seen any. People up ahead, I'm going to skip them. Show you guys our little walk here. So do you like this park, Nick?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Usually when we were walking here, me and my dad started getting like the past stories and stuff. Pretty cool.
So you like to hear about your dad's stories?
Yeah.
What do you know about this place?
That it has wildlife. It's fun to walk. Oh, it's like 3.5 miles, or no, like 1.25 miles or something.
3/4 of a mile. So each loop through the trail is 3/4 of a mile.
We usually do it about like 5 or 4 times.
So if we do it, if it's 3/4 of a mile and we do it twice, how many miles is that?
Half a mile.
No.
Like 3/4 of a mile?
Yeah, 3/4 is more than half already.
Oh yeah. It would be 1.25. Or I mean 1.5 miles.
Ah. So if you do 2 laps, it's 1.5 miles. So if we do 4 laps, how many miles did we do?
4 laps. It would be 2 or 3 miles.
Right, because it's 1.5 miles each time we do 2. So if we do 4, it's 1.5 plus 1.5.
Yeah.
So that's how many miles?
Yeah.
How many?
3.
3. So if we do 4 laps, it's 3 miles. A little bit of a background for you. Education for you. What's this park called again?
I don't know. I forgot.
Erna Nixon.
Erna Nixon, yeah.
Erna Nixon is the name. And you know who Erna Nixon is?
No.
She's a lady. And she cared about what?
Wildlife?
Yeah. Preservation of wildlife and plants especially. So she did a lot of stuff, I guess, in this area to try to make people aware of plants and preservation.
Is she famous?
Yeah, famous enough that they did what to this place?
After her?
Hey, did you see a squirrel there on that tree? See a little bushy tail moving? Excuse me here.
Call him.
Do you see him? Squirrel's right there in case you're having a hard time finding him.
I still don't see him. Oh, I see him now.
He hears me.
What's up, my little dude? Isn't that like the fighting call?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I'm challenging him to a duel, a squirrel duel. He's looking at me. He's saying, well, you know what? I could take the big one on, but there's two of them. So, I don't know if I really want to duke it out with this big giant guy here. Because he's got a little one, and that little one looks pretty feisty.
We should do videos in squirrel and rice.
Well, do you see how he's frozen? He's not moving? Mm-hmm. Guess what he's pretending?
That he's dead.
That he's not there, except he just blinked his eye. Gave him away. And now he's going to hide. He's totally gone around the other side. He's like, oh man, I blinked my eye. Where do you see him?
On this side. You'll see him on the other side.
Yeah,
now
but
he's moving up. You see that?
Yeah, he's trying to hide behind the
He's like, you can't see me.
He's like, you can't see me.
You should call that squirrel John Cena.
John Cena? Who's John Cena?
It's a wrestler that goes, you can't see me.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah, I think he knocks people out.
Oh.
And they can't see anymore because they're knocked out.
That's what he does. He knocks them out, says, you can't see me.
Yeah.
They can't even hear him at that point. All right, if you've ever wondered what these little things are that grow on the tree themselves, they look like little bush things that grow out. I guess they're called epiphytes. Epiphytes. Epiphytes are plants that grow on top of other plants, but do not use them as a source of nutrients or water. These air plants grow very well on the rough bark of oak trees in the shaded place, but not on the open, sunny pine land. So these little things that you see growing on other trees, other plants, they're called epiphytes. So, quiz coming up, Nick. What is this stuff called right here?
Epiphytes.
And where do they get their nutrients from?
Not the tree. They don't use it from the tree.
So how are they getting it? How do they get food?
The sun.
Yeah, the sun and what else?
Water.
Where do they get the water from?
The rain.
And maybe the air, Nick.
And maybe the air.
Did you know air has water in it?
Yep.
If it didn't, it would be really dry.
Are our lungs moist or completely dry?
They would be moist. Our body is mostly water. I think we're 90%
water.
Isn't that crazy? When you think about it?
Pretty cool.
If you think about it, we're walking what?
Water.
Water.
Water balloons.
Pretty much. That's pretty scary. Look at that cool looking log right there.
I don't know. It sounded kind of bad. R, like R, and then like R, like R.
R? What are you talking about?
Like our lungs.
No, our lungs.
Our lungs?
Are. Yeah, our lungs are probably
How do I ask
moist.
the question though? Our lungs.
No, well, you can say that. Yeah, that's fine. Are our lungs water? Well, are our lungs what? Our lungs, I think, are a membrane. It's like a sac. Believe it or not, I think our lungs are mostly like balloons. Little tiny what?
Balloons.
Yeah, little tiny ones. You remember like you have the little popping things that you like to pop, the little plastic popper thingies? The packaging material?
Oh.
Kind of like that, except that...
The bubble thingies?
Yeah.
Over there.
Hi there, little lizard.
The bubble packaging? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it's bubble packaging.
Bubble packaging.
So, maybe a little bit of education here. Spanish moss, of course you guys have seen the Spanish moss. For those who didn't see the other videos, real Spanish moss looks like that. Do be very careful of them. There's these little creatures, I forget what they're called. They live on the Spanish moss and they like to jump on your head. And they dig through your skin. So walking under here makes my head itch already. But definitely don't touch that stuff or put it in your head.
I think I saw somewhere, like people were like boiling the Spanish moss.
What do they do that for?
I don't know. I saw it somewhere. I forget. It was a while back. But I saw them like boiling it or something.
Now this tree is really cool. Do you see this?
It's naked.
Yeah, because the bark fell off. But those barks are like ultra thin. And I forget, I think they're used like medicine by the Indians. I don't know if maybe I'll talk about it here in one of these things. But I'd seen it somewhere else. Okay, let's look at the different plants of the subtropical hardwood hammock, which is where we're at right now. You got Simpson stopper, which, I don't know, it might be that. I don't know which one they're pointing at. It just says Simpson stopper, and look at the picture.
Okay.
I can't tell, but I think it might be that one.
I think this would be Simpson stopper, because it also has one at the bottom.
That's a shoestring fern. That's these.
Okay, so then that's...
No, or this. I think this is the shoestring fern. Or no, this must be the shoestring fern because it looks like what? Shoestring. And then marlberry is this other stuff.
And then that's that. And then so
strap
this is
fern
stopper.
and a golden foot fern. So what are those ferns growing right there?
They are the golden foot fern.
I don't think so.
What?
Because golden foot were fatter. They don't have it on this picture here, unless it's this one.
No.
Shoestring fern, yes. It's right there.
Shoestring.
So even though this picture shows this thing right here, I think they're talking about these ferns right there. That would be the shoestring fern, unless, I don't know, we really need to talk to who?
The person who knows everything.
Plant-wise, do you know what those people are called?
Plantologists?
Very good guess, but they're called botanists. A botanist studies plants.
They could also be called Google.
No, they could also be called a plantologist, but I guess a plantologist may have another name. But let's look at here. That little stump you see, when you see those plants that have like the bottom that come out like that.
They're called cypress.
Yeah, so this is a cypress. This is actually a very tiny one. They say they can grow to 150 feet in height. It is the cypress tree is the oldest known living tree, living up to 4,000 years. I know you can't see this, but my son has his mouth wide open. I can't believe it. Me neither. That means
4,000 years is almost as old as you.
Well, that means the cypress is around even before Jesus was on
Earth.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Could be. We don't know how old that one really is, but knowing that they're over 4,000 years old, that surpasses, we're going back even beyond Rome. You know, the Romans and stuff. So the cypress tree, the same cypress tree, could be around even before the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire came and fell. King Arthur and his knights went out on their crusade. Okay? Well, the Roman Empire came and fell, but also Jesus was born and died. King Arthur and his knights formed a round table. And a bunch of settlers, a bunch of sailors, people wanting religious freedom, sailed to America. And America was what? Born from breaking away from the British.
And the Patriots.
And now we are all here
celebrating Easter
at Erna Nixon Park.
The resurrection of Jesus
Christ. And we see the little cypress tree that could have been here through all of this time. The oak evergreen hammock ecosystem in Erna Nixon Park once extended from Melbourne Village to the areas that are now the Melbourne Square Mall and the Oaks. The cabbage or sable palm is the state tree of Florida.
Is that shoestring up there?
I think this is the sable palm, this little one. What?
Is that the shoestring fern? You see that tree?
I don't think so.
It was in the picture.
Yeah, I think that's what they were showing in that one picture, but I think this is the shoestring fern. I really need to talk to the ranger or to confirm.
Maybe someone in the comment section will know.
I think this is the shoestring fern because that one is an aerial plant. It's one of those plants that live in the air on another plant. But it turns out it doesn't actually pull the nutrients from that plant. This is called a shiny wild coffee. And it looks like this, which I'm trying to see. This must be it right here. This is the real one. No, this isn't it. This one is not it. That one is.
It.
How was I able to tell the difference between this one and this one, Nick?
Because if you see here, this one has lines in it, but this one doesn't. And that one has the same exact fat lines and stuff.
Ah, very good. Very observant.
Abs. And abs.
So, I think you're talking about these ribs, the lines here on the leaves.
Yeah.
And these ones don't have them. So that's one way you can use to identify leaves. And it says, let's find out more about the shiny wild coffee. Wild coffee is a Florida native shrub that gets its common name from the small red fruit it produces. Wild coffee berries were once used as a coffee substitute, even though they do not contain caffeine. The plant produces the chemical compound dimethyltryptamine, methamphetamine, which is a natural hallucinogenic. You know what that means?
Hallucinogenic means like hallucination?
Yes. So when they drink this coffee, the Native Americans brewed wild coffee beans for ceremonies and medicinal purposes, but wild coffee isn't considered palatable today. That means people don't drink it. But the Native Indians, they brewed it and they drank it, and guess what it made them see?
Pink unicorns and elephants, pink elephants.
I don't know if they saw those, but they did hallucinate. So sometimes when they go into a trance, guess why they got into a trance?
Because of that?
They drank that coffee.
Did it taste good at least?
It says it's not palatable, so you know what that means? You know what palate means? Like your palate is your lips, your taste.
Not good?
It doesn't taste good. But if you know what that plant is and you want it to trip, what could you do?
Trip.
How do you trip?
Like,
Make some what? Look here, giant dragonfly. It's one of those, I can't even see if I'm seeing it or not. Do you see it? Yeah. It's one of those government drones spying on me again.
Yeah.
You see how big he is? I know you guys can't tell how big this thing really is, but it's about 3 inches.
Here, maybe I could put my hand up to it.
Hopefully he doesn't eat you, Nick.
Hi, Mr. Government Spy.
You see how big he is?
That
Look how
big.
unafraid he is.
Maybe he's sleeping.
I don't know. He's not sleeping. He just flew and did what just now?
Oh, landed?
And he's listening.
It's a government drone, Dad.
Notice the little antenna coming out and the little emit. Whoa! And he's still not flying away. Oh, he's diving at us.
He's saying,
Leave me alone. I'm not a drone. I'm not a drone. Stop calling me a drone.
He's like, I've been compromised.
Attack! Attack formation. Wow, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Okay, let's test your knowledge. What is this?
The stuff that gets you feeling funny.
Yeah, what is it called?
The Florida coffee.
Yeah, wild coffee.
Wild coffee.
So we know how to spot this now. It's got these, and look, it looks like it's got a bud. I don't know if that's where the little berries are going to come out, but...
Is that illegal or legal?
I didn't make it illegal, so it's still legal, but... So if you want to trip out, make some wild coffee. Although it'll probably taste really what?
Bad.
But I know how to fix it.
Put some sugar in it.
Not some. How much sugar?
As much as you can find in the house.
There you go.
That's
So get some wild coffee, wild Florida coffee, add a lot of sugar, and you'll be bouncing off walls as you trip. Legally.
Legally.
Because they didn't make it illegal.
Like if an officer, like a
Oh,
police
look at that.
officer, takes a test on you.
Well, first off, if you're acting crazy, he can arrest you because you're acting what?
Crazy.
Crazy. Because if you're hallucinating,
Under the substance.
if you're hallucinating, you're seeing things. Or what they consider hallucination sometimes might just mean that you're actually more in tune. And what are you seeing?
Everything.
Everything. See? One person's crazy or hallucination, maybe another person's what?
Thought.
Thought or insight that they can actually see beyond the normal. So the Indians, when they take it, they go into a trance for their ceremony. Usually who would drink that? Everyone or just the medicine man?
The leader.
The leader or the medicine man, whoever's doing the trance. And what's he probably going to tell everyone?
What?
What to do, what's coming up. So modern days we say he's hallucinating, but the reality is he might actually be what? Seeing things for real. Beyond what we normally see with our eyes and ears. Well, that's what can happen. But anyone watching him, they think he's hallucinating. Now, do I know this stuff? No. That's my theory. Do I plan on drinking the wild coffee?
No.
No, because who already sees enough weird stuff in real life? I don't need to enhance the strangeness that surrounds me every single day, Nicholas.
Yeah.
I see enough what in real life?
Strangeness.
Strange stuff. So I really don't need to hey, do you know what this is?
I look in the mirror almost every day. So
you know what that is?
Strange things almost every day.
Do you know what that is?
It's a board.
I think it's a bat box. The problem is
like
that
a box.
it's flat because it might have been taken apart, or it might be a honey. They used to have honeybee hives in this park here, but they took it down, so I don't know what happened. But that's flat, which is interesting because they normally have a bat box, which isn't flat like that.
And it usually has like a bat on it, like a picture of a bat.
So it'd be interesting to find out what that is. Yeah. Maybe it's a control device for those government drones.
Oh, yeah.
The little Dragonfly drones that are flying around following us.
Maybe they have a Commander Dragonfly in that little box thing.
Oh, what happened to this?
It got burnt.
So, but you'll notice, how are the branches up there?
Pretty good. Maybe.
They're still green.
I don't think it was controlled though.
Could have been wild. Could have probably look around here. So look at this. This was on fire, yet the plant still lives. Although some are what? They're on the ground here, burnt. And you can see the stump there. So there was a fire in here. Look at that. All of this burnt down. But some of it have come. Look at that one. The leaves are all green, but the trunk is all what? Black, burnt. These are burnt. Look, burnt to a crisp. But yet the plant still lives. Interesting. So if you walked by and you saw these burnt stumps and stuff, what would you think? They're dead. Look at this one. This is I think a longleaf pine. The bottom obviously has been burnt, but if you follow the trunk up, you'll see when it starts not burning, because that's when the fire didn't reach. And up above, the tree is still alive. Although, if you look at it, it had lost a bunch of leaves, so it's just now coming back. I wonder how long it's been since the fire. You know, at one time when you walked through here, guess what there was here?
What?
Wild grapes. Guess what I think this is?
Wild grape bush?
I think so.
Have you ever tried one?
Nope.
Remember we went to the beach and we had sea grapes? Yeah.
Well, you know, wild grapes, supposedly, you can eat them, but they tend to be a little bitter, not sweet. I'm thinking this is grapes. If you guys are botanists watching this or better at plant identification, let me know if this is wild grape here. Because it's got the little twines and stuff kind of like in the leaf shape. It looks like wild grape. Because I know for a fact that at one time they had one of those, I don't know if they're called trellis or whatever, that went across the walkway. And they said wild grapes. You know, they had it labeled and tagged. What is this again?
Okay, that's gonna be the wild coffee.
Did you hear that squeak? Yeah. What is that?
Bird.
Squirrel. Yep. My son thinks that's a bird. I know that's a squirrel. There he is. You see him hopping through the bushes there? He would challenge us if we're challenging him, but the problem is there's two of us, and he knows that 2 beats 1.
He's like the master karate squirrel.
Yeah, if I was here by myself, he would have jumped on me and tried to bite my neck. I'll say, oh yeah? Let me show you. But did you see that it was a squirrel and not a bird?
Yeah.
Who knows squirrel sounds?
Because you were raised when you were a child. You were raised by a pack of wild
All right, the truth comes out. I was raised by a bunch of squirrels, and that's why I know so much about communicating with squirrels.
He had to take therapy lessons because he kept on climbing in trees and biting people.
And I kept going nuts.
He's still working at it.
Still working on it, right? Still working on it. Still working on nuts. All right. Well, folks, that was a round through the park. I'm going to go ahead and end it for now because I don't want this video to go on and on. It's already at 24 minutes. So I want to thank you for joining me and my son on our nice little nature walk.
And if you got to know the knowledge of that he was raised by squirrels, you stuck to the end. So thank you for making us money.
Well, until next time, everybody, stay safe. I hope you're having a wonderful Easter. And if you watch this after Easter, I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Thank you for joining us on our walk. We're going to continue our walk, but I'm going to end filming for now. Until next time, take care, everybody.